Hi everyone and welcome to the explainer video of Change of Direction. Change of Direction is the latest addition to our physical data package and we feel it's quite an important one. Why? Because traditionally, football physical performance has been evaluated by means of linear movement metrics, including total running distance, high intensity distance, or sprint count, but these only tell a part of the story. Let's see some examples. Activities within the pitch, in possession and out of possession, that actually require players to change direction and to be agile are multiple. In possession, again, we can think of body feints, counter movements, and decoy movements, while out of possession, we can think of the activity of keeping momentum while pressing, closing down space, or also reacting to fake runs. So going forward today, we are actually addressing the main topic of multi-directional intense physical capabilities, and we are going to do so by looking at three specific things. Agility volume, so the ability to repeat changes of direction within a game. Agility qualitative, so the ability to be agile, and this relates to time as well. But we are also adding an extra layer of information to explosiveness, as we know today. Content, let's start with agility and let's check on what we are actually delivering by looking at a specific case study. So these are two players, player one and player two. They're both fullbacks. They're both playing in the same team in the Big Five leagues. The data relates to last year. What we are doing here is actually building a physical profile. First, looking only at linear physical performance, and then adding multi-directional physical performance to the picture. So if we look at linear physical performance, so for example, the ability or the capability of the player to cover the pitch at a very high speed by means of sprinting distance, we see that the output is kind of similar. The players are also kind of similar when it comes to repeating high intensity actions frequently within a game. So high intensity count, again, output is there. When we add multi-directional physical performance, the picture starts to change a bit. So for example, let's check on which player is able to handle a higher number of intense changes of directions throughout the game. Player 2 performs better. Which player is actually able to keep speed and momentum after a tight turn? Player 2, again, ranks better. Which one shows raw agility after big directional change? Again, player 2 is performing better. And you see how this is important, for example, for a fullback when it comes to tracking a winger who keeps on doing counter movements or similar actions. But how do we know all of this? Because Skill Corner has actually developed specific metrics to identify and quantify these physical and football specific behaviors. So, for example, we have change of directions count, and again, player 2 does many more. Time to 505 around 90, which takes the name from the popular agility test and allows us to understand the performance of the player on a 90 degrees turn or close to a 90 degrees turn. And the same for time to 505 around 180 degrees. So for big directional changes. Then again, speaking of volume and quality. Going forward, we can see which are the best or the top performers of this specific metric, time to 505 around 180 degrees. So big directional changes, and we can see players like Robinson, Dodo, and so on and so on. This is the ranking of last season, so 24-25 for the Big Five leagues. It's the average of the best 3 times recorded in this specific metrics by the players listed. Now we go forward and we look at explosiveness. What we are actually looking for through this matrix, or for the matrix that you will see, is the ability for players to demonstrate pure explosiveness after a standing turn. We have 2 metrics to measure this: time to high speed running and time to sprint post change of direction. Let's look at a specific case study here as well. So these are 2 center backs, again playing in the same team in the Big Five leagues, and data relates to last year again. What we are looking at is the ability of the players to reach quickly the high speed running threshold and the sprinting running threshold. When we look at linear accelerations, player 1 and player 2 are kind of the same in terms of output. But when we bring in the post change of direction element, we see how it differs. So player 2 is much more able to be quick after a change of direction. And imagine how important this is for example, a team who wants to play on a high line or that goes man to man all over the pitch. Now let's go through the end of this explainer video. Let's do a quick recap. What is it that we are actually delivering and how it is split? So change of direction count, agility volume, you can check it by odds, so first half, second half, and full match values, or by time in possession, so when the team has the ball, or out of possession where the team doesn't have the ball. The remaining metrics, so time to 505 around 90, time to 505 around 180, as well as time to high speed running and sprint post change of directions, are available in terms of best performance per single match or the average of the top 3 performances. Once again, we think this is really important because it serves multiple professionals within a club, federation, or institution. The head coach can actually gain actionable insights to tailor his tactical training through these metrics. The physical coach can gain information about internal and external athletes and get better information again to design more specific conditioning programs. The scout can finally objectively uncover hidden athletic qualities. Data analysts and scientists can actually extract patterns and value from previously untracked physical behavior, and obviously sporting director can gain a sharper lens to make evidence-based recruitment choices. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and to see you again with Skill Corner.